Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Christina, and welcome to Microsoft Word Intermediate. Please let me know if for any reason you cannot hear me. You can put it in the chat, but it should be working. Welcome to Palos Heights Public Library Virtual Program. I'm glad you could join us. And today we're going to talk about Microsoft Word Intermediate. But before we get started, some housekeeping. I will I'm probably going to have to mute everybody just so we don't have any accidental interruptions, but we can, if you have any questions throughout the class, there should be the chat function that should either be at the top or bottom of your screen. So if you have any questions throughout the program, you can put your questions in the chat, and I'll be stopping to take a look at them throughout the class. Also, let me stop the share. I will show some upcoming programs coming up this month, so you can take a look at them, and you can sign up for them. Let's share this one. So coming up tomorrow, April 11th, we have Julia Child with Leslie Goddard. That is a very popular program, so if you're at all interested in that, make sure to sign up for that. You can call in the Public Services Desk and we can sign you up for it. This coming Sunday, we have our Sunday at the Cinema, and we have the movie The Fabelmans. So that's this Sunday at 2 p.m. It is a longer movie at 2 hours and 31 minutes. Then next Tuesday, April 18th, we have Reducing One's Impact on the Planet. We have coming up Wednesday, April 19th at 7 p.m. Introduction to AncestryLibrary.com. That is our one of our genealogy databases. So if you're all interested in that, make sure to sign up for that program. And then Thursday, April 20th at 7 p.m. we have Sustainability, Waste Reduction, Recycle Right, and Green Cleaning. So 2 programs, for Earth Day. So those are our upcoming programs for April. So if any of those interest you, make sure to sign up for those. And then without further ado, I'm going to get started on Windows Intermediate. Share. There we go. Okay, hopefully you should see my little PowerPoint there, Microsoft Word Intermediate. Let me know if you do not see it. That means I'm showing the wrong screen. There we go. So for our agenda today, we're going to be looking first at formatting documents with different fonts, paragraphs, and spacing styles. Then more on layout, such as margins and columns, how to insert tables, how to insert images and other media. Then we'll look at headers and footers, word art text, some design, and then if we get to it, review the review tab. So first would be formatting documents. That can be done in the font tab. So let me show you what it looks like. Oops. There we go. Okay, hopefully you should see that. This is what it looks like in the Word document itself. So here is what they call the ribbon at the top here. And in the ribbon, we have the different tabs, the home, insert, design tabs, and the like. And here we have the font section in the home tab. This is where you can change the look of your text. So let's just say if I said hello. As you can see here, the standard font size and type is what they would call Calibri. You can see it right here in this little window right here, Calibri. And you can see my font size right now is 11. That's usually the standard when you first open Word, but you can always highlight what you've written, or even before you begin typing, you can change it. You can select what you have typed, and you can click in here, and you have a whole bunch of different font styles, usually over 100 different font styles. If you know one, if you know the name of the font you want, you can even type it in the section here. So most standard font is Times New Roman. You just click on it and it will change it automatically to it. You can see here, it changed. But sometimes they have quite unique ones. See if it has it in here. Yep, Wingdings. So Wingdings is actually symbols like that. So they have quite eclectic font styles. Let's just choose, let's choose an interesting one, Broadway. And then if you click in here, you can change the size, or you can even just type it in if you want. So it can go quite large, quite small. So let's choose this size. There we go. That's how you can change your font. These icons right next to it, with the A with a little arrow up and A with a little arrow down, that will change the size, but just one font size at a time. So you can adjust it like that if you would like to. Right next to it is also the option to change case. So that can change the case of each letter. So you can see here they have sentence case, so we'll just capitalize the first letter. You can make it all lowercase, all uppercase, capitalize each word, or toggle the case. So that's a quick way to change the case without having to retype everything in case you make a mistake. Next to it is clearing all formattings. That will clear the formatting of all the highlighted text. So you can see going right back to Calibri and back to 11 point. That's if you want to just erase all the formatting you've done, or if you've maybe copied something from a web page and it has some weird formatting from the web page. That's a quick way to just clear the formatting. Next in here is bold. We have italicize and underline. You can even choose what the underline looks like, and even change the underline color if you would like to. Like that. Sorry, excuse me. We also have strike through, which puts a line through what you have selected. Didn't have it selected. Here we go. Strike through. That's good usually for if you're just editing a paper. Right here we also have subscript and superscript. That's good for formulas. Right here is also where we have some more formatting for text effects and typography. So say I wanted to, this is usually good for like posters or maybe newsletters, and you want your titles to pop on the newsletters. Here we can have this, and it gives you a little description of what it has, and you have it highlighted. black text, an outline, stuff like that, or you can make your own if you don't want any of the pre-made ones. Let's just click on one. Kind of hard to tell, but it's given it, make that a little bit bigger. There we go. There you can see it's given it a little bit of shadow and an outline. But you can also even change the color in it if you would like. There. And you can even give it more of a shadow if you want, or reflection, gives it a little reflection underneath it. Glow gives it a little bit of glow around it, like that. So that's just if you want to make your titles pop more, especially for like either newsletters or posters or something like that. This is highlight color, so you can highlight this. Usually good for editing. Want to highlight something in the paper. And this is just the font color itself. The main body right now it's black, but I could change it to red if I wanted. Like, change it to red like that. Makes it really pop. Here again, I can clear all the formatting. So that is this little font tab right here. And then right next to it is a paragraph. This is mainly for spacing. So let's say I had a whole paragraph. Going to add a lot. There, I added some text. And I can see the spacing in it. There we go. Okay. Let's see. First in the paragraph tab, you're going to see what looks like a backwards P here. This is the paragraph marks and formatting symbols. These are the symbols that will not show up when you print this out, but it's strictly used for, so you can see how much spacing you have in between words and paragraphs and stuff like that. So you can see it, it's at the end of every paragraph. And you can also see there's little space dots in between words. So you can see how many spaces you have. But then, yeah, if you have this on, it doesn't show up when you print out. It's strictly just for when you're in the program itself. So you can see here, right now, I have all of my paragraphs and text aligned left. That's the standard, usually for books and writing. But you can also have it centered. That's usually best for like titles and title pages. You can also have it aligned right. So when you type, it will start your icons will start over here and you'll type out from that way. And then you can also have it what they call justified. That is when each line will be the same length. That's justified is usually what you see in newspapers and newsletters and stuff. And sometimes why words may get cut off. That's when they're using justified. Here, there we go. There. You can see it's all exactly the same length. So, at the top here is where you can create bullets. This is best for like making lists and stuff like that, but then we do bullets each line. Each new paragraph will have a bullet point. You can also choose what the bullet points will look like. Usually the standard have it in the circle, but you can also have like little squares, little pictures, things like that. You can also have it as numbers. Have it as numbers or ABCs or Roman numerals, things like that. The next one is a multi-level list. This is mostly used if you're making an outline for a paper, but that can be used. This will also decrease the size of the indent. You can see at the top here where the ruler is, how large your indent is and where it starts at. You can either change the size here, so you have a really large indent or a really small indent. You can also start where like the A starts at, if you so choose. You can also increase it here. This is your sort, so if you have bullet points or numbered, you can sort it by alphabetical or numerical. And then here, below that, you see paint can. This will put a background color to anything you have highlighted. Or if I don't have anything highlighted, it'll be just the line that I'm on. You can see here. And then here is where you can put borders, not page borders, that's later on, but just borders around the text that you have. You can see you can have just a bottom border, top border, left border, right border. No borders are all borders, so it can look like that. So you can choose the borders. This is also where you can go into drawing tables, but also you can do tables later on and some additional borders and shading. Let's just do a standard box and a line. You can see how it looks. And you can see here it just has a border around the text you had highlighted. And then, as always, if you make a mistake, you have the undo button in the top left corner. Just hit it once and it'll undo the most recent thing. If you keep hitting it, it will keep undoing the most recent thing and then the most recent thing and forward and so on. Also have a redo button. So if you accidentally hit the undo, you can redo it as well. In the next two paragraphs, you can see all the styles. These are just some pre-made styles you can select from. So you have the standard normal or no spacing, or you can see blue heading, title, subtitle. And you can click on this, they have more options. You can also even create your own styles if you want to. Save a style that you know you will use frequently. You can create a style here and it'll save it. You can also clear formatting and apply the styles again. So those are some just to pick from. And you can also make your own. Right next to it in the editing, real quick, the find. This is a quick way to find some text that's within your document. So say you've written a paper and you realized you've misspelled the name or something like that throughout the whole paper. So instead of having to find every single iteration of that name in the paper, you can just ask it to find it right in here. Really clear it and then you would search the document. for the name, and it would show all the results below. So for example, it's going to be a lot of this, but it will show all the indications of it happening. So you can find it within the paper. So, and then another way, yep, you can find it here as well. You can find the word or the name you're looking for, and you can tell it to replace with the correct name you're looking for, and you can either hit replace once or replace all, and that will speed up some editing for you. Okay, next up is the layout. We're going to go up to the layout here. This is some more editing you can do for your paper. Very first one here in page setup, the margins. You can select the margin size. The margins is the white area in the document that does not get printed on, doesn't get typed into here. You can see here I have 1 inch on both sides, and there should be 1 inch on the top and bottom. You can also make it smaller to like 1/2 inch if you want less white space there, or you can make it even bigger here. So they have some select ones you can choose from, or you can also do custom margins, and you can tell how large or small, so 1/2 inch there.
We
1/2
don't hear
inch.
you now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, now it's
Better?
okay.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you. Keep it up. So yeah, you can select to whatever size. I would recommend not going much smaller than 1/2 inch, because you don't want it to your words to like go too close to the edge of the paper, in case there's any like printing error, or maybe the printer is not so exact. So I'll give you an example here. You can see how close the edge of the paper 0.2 inches is. So I would recommend not going much smaller than that on your margins, just so you don't have any of your text get cut off. Usually standard is like either 1/2 inch or 1 inch margins. You can also see here, here and here. You can do it in 2 places. The orientation of your paper. So standardly it's in portrait. That's the standard for, writing a letter. But if you want it in landscape, that would be good for like maybe if you're making like a sign for something, a little announcement, you can do it in landscape. Or if you're also maybe printing out pictures, usually pictures are more in landscape than portrait. It gives you a little preview, and you can even select what pages this happens on. Standardly it's on, it will apply to the whole document, but you can have it to selected text. So maybe one page will print out in landscape, or one page will print out in portrait, or one page you might want larger margins, but then another page you want smaller margins. You can have it for the selected text or whole document. And say okay. Orientation is another place where you can do the portrait or landscape. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I have a question here about publishing to Amazon, and they recommend a page size that would be 6x9. Yes, that would probably be in the paper tab. When we it's usually for when you're printing out, you can select the paper size here. So I went to file, print, and standardly is for printing out, but you can also, there should be an option to, I don't have it right here, but you can save to PDF. And then you could save it as a 6x9. You have lots of paper sizes here. Let's see, 6x. I have a envelope, well, it's envelope. Yeah, the closest is A5, which is almost 6x9. It's 5.83 by 8.27. That's just what we have on saved in our computers. There probably, if you set it, you can have it set to save by 6x9. Yeah, here also in size here. Click on more paper sizes. And you can set the exact width and height. Here we are. So it'd be, we'll put it as a custom size, but yes. For 6x9, you want the height to be 6 and the width to be 9. There we go. That's how you would do it. And you can select to apply to whole document. So that's in layout, size, and you would have to click on more paper sizes and you can set a custom. Yep, there we go. So yeah, that's how you could save that size. Next to that, columns. Let me make sure nothing else in. Okay, yeah, and it'll give you a little preview of the 6x9. Okay. Columns. This is usually when you're doing like either a newsletter or a newspaper or something like that, or maybe if you're making a pamphlet, your own pamphlet. This is where you can select the columns. And again, make sure you have selected your text. If you already have text up, or you can do this right at the beginning before you start typing. So standardly, it's in one column because it's the paper like that. They can have they standardly have up to 3, but you can do even more columns if you would like. Again, yeah, you click on the columns and you select more columns, and that gives you some more options. You can do as many columns as you want. Just letting you know, the more columns you have, the smaller the columns are going to be. So you might have only a little bit of text. So let's say if I had 6 columns, you can see it looks like this. And you can tell there's only a little bit of text for each column. Or I can tell it to put it to 3 columns. There we go. And you can see there's more text in each column. You can also select how much space they have in between each column. You can see the white area. You can make it smaller spacing, so you have less spacing between each column. Or you can set it to have more space in between each column, but then you can have a lot of white. So you can mess around with it and you can see what it does. And you can also see right now it has selected equal column width, so it automatically makes each column the same size. But if you unselect that, then you make one bigger or smaller, you can see it does the spacing automatically for you. Or you can tell it all equal. And then left and right, you can see here on the left is going to be the smaller column, and then on the right will be the big column. Or if you have it this way, big columns on the left and the smaller columns on the right. You can even have it select to have a line in between each column, so you can easily see this that the spacing between each column. So there's that. Also next to it is page or section breaks. So this will create a new area in between each section. So you can either have page breaks, so we'll skip to the next page, or you can have column break, so we'll skip to the next column, or what they call text wrapping. So text goes around objects automatically instead of like colliding into them. You also have different types of section breaks. So this will start a new page. This will start a new section, but on the same page. Even page breaks or odd page breaks. So we'll do a new section break onto the next even page, numbered page or odd numbered page. This is also where you can insert line numbers. So right now it has no line numbers, but you can have either continuous line numbers, or we can have the line numbers restart on each page or restart in each section, or even not have it for the current paragraph. So you can see how that would go. And then also, do you want it to have hyphenations if it's cutting off any words? Do you want to have automatic hyphenation or no hyphenation, or you'll do it yourself with manual? Like that. And here's also where we can do spacing for indents and spacing in between paragraphs and lines. And this next page, arranging, that's for, again, more newsletters or sections if you have selected objects. So there's layout. Give me one moment. If you have any questions so far on anything that we've talked about, or if I need to go over anything, again, we can put it in the chat right now. All right, so I'll be going on to how to insert tables. So tables are, it's under the insert tab here. This is also another spot where you can insert page breaks as well. But here is where we can insert tables. Right here, it has a little drop down menu, and you can either do it from, see all these blank squares here. You can either do it from here, and you kind of just hover over it. You don't have to click on anything yet. You hover over until you get the size you want. They start out with a 10 by 8, so 10 columns by 8 rows. And you can see it gives you a little preview on your page until you click it. So let's do just like 3 by 3. There you go. And once you do that, it opens up this new tab here with design and layout specifically just for your table. You can also look at this. You can also click on this insert table right here, and it gives up a little pop-up menu, and you can do the number of columns and rows from here as well with just the arrows here. And it will automatically do the column width by when you select, or you can also set the size here. And you can even have it remember the dimensions if you want to, or you can just hit cancel. You can also even draw the table, and it gives you this little pencil here. If you just click and hold, you can draw it here if you so choose, but this might take a little bit longer if you do it this way. You can also even import an Excel spreadsheet if you have one already made. And then also the little quick tables here, so you can select some. These are mainly, you have some calendars to begin with, or you have a double table, matrix table, tabular list, or with subheads. So you can choose from there, some from there already made. So we have the standard one. And you can see when we have our cursor in the table, it gives us the option for the table tools. If we have it outside the table, you can see that ribbon goes away. So we click inside the table and we hit design. And it'll give you some options here again for some colors or tables already pre-made. You can add shading to your table here. I would recommend lighter colors so you can actually, if you have anything written in the table, you can actually see it. Otherwise, if it's too dark, you can't really see it. And then here is also where you can choose border styles. You can choose border colors for the lines here. You also have hyphenated and different table styles here. How thick the line is. Like that one. And then also the color. And then even which borders. Otherwise, you can have all the borders, or you can have no borders. So you can choose if you want to make your own, or if you just want to pick from the pre-selected ones. And then you can just also type into it. And also change the size of the table at any point from both ends. And here. Well, and then even in between the cells here and here. So to do any of the size changing, you just have to wait till either this icon or this icon appears. It has to be right on the line. Sometimes it can be a little finicky, but right on the line you can change it. This corner icon here can let you move the table around a little bit on the page. Well, go. And then if at any point while you're making the table, if you realize you need either more rows or more columns, you'll see this little plus icon that comes up. Just click on it once and it'll add another row. And then up here, being a little finicky, but you can do the same way for the columns as well. There it is. There you can always add another column as well. So that's how you can design the table. Also, layout is another point where you can insert more rows and columns and view the grid lines and the properties. So you would have to be in the either row or column that you want to add in. And it would insert either above where you have highlighted or below, and then it will insert to the left or to the right. And then you can also delete rows, columns, or cells, or delete the entire table from where you are. You can also, if you have split cells, that will split the cell that you're in, or you can even split the table from in half from where you are. And if you have multiple cells highlighted at the same time, you can merge cells. So I'll make it one large cell like that. And you can split it back into 2 columns, 1 row. There. Auto fit will automatically resize the columns in your table. So you can either have all the same width or cannot. So you can auto fit window or auto fit column width. And also, if you have pre-selected, you can select the height and the width of the cells as well, if you so wish. And then next to it, alignment. Again, just like in the paper, you can align where the text is in each cell. So right now it's standardly at the top of line left. So you can also center it or put it to the right. Center left, so you can see some more in the center. And then to the right, and then to the very bottom, center, and right, like that. You can also change the direction of the text within the table. There we go. And also cells have margins just as well. So the text is not all the way on the line. You can see here.
Can't hear you anymore, Christina.
Oh, sorry. Are you able to hear? Oh, okay. And then
Yes.
if you want to move the table lower on the page, what's it? Oh, okay, good. Yeah, it was this guy here is where you can move it around the page easy. And then again, once you have your table all filled out, you can sort it if you would like to, using the text, or if you have a number, or if you have dates, you can sort it by there. Right now I don't have this filled out, so it's not sorting. And also if you need to repeat the header rows up here. And then you can also just convert it to text if you want to take all the text from your table and just convert it into text. You can do it like that, just like that. So you can see it's not a table anymore, it's just text. And then if you have any formulas in here, this is a quick way, an easy way to insert formulas into your table, just like in Excel. So that is tables. We're going to go on now to, inserting images. That is also under the Insert tab here. And you can see here, there's a whole section just for illustrations. So if you would like to insert a picture that's already on your device, usually like on your computer, you would click on the pictures here and it'll bring up your picture folder on your device. And you can select the image. Let's do an example from a couple of months ago. And here we have, let's just insert the photo right away. But you're going to see here it's kind of small, so we can enlarge the image. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 circles on the edge there. Usually best is to take one of the circles in the corner, go left click and hold, and that will allow you to increase the size of your image. I would recommend the corner ones because if you do either the side or the top, you can see it kind of squishes or elongates it, so the perspective is kind of weird. So the best way to make sure that you don't stretch or squash your image is to take it from one of the corners and enlarge it that way. And you can see here while we have the photo highlighted, we have a new ribbon that allows us a lot of different effects if you would like to add some effects to our picture. I'm also going to show, I'll highlight the table here. Here we go. Also going to show how we get that text wrap I talked about earlier. If you right click on the photo, you're going to have a little pop-up menu that comes up. And you're going to see near the bottom here, wrap text. It's going to give us some options because usually what a standardly is in is usually, I believe, what's called inline. So sometimes it's not going to wrap nicely around text or anything like that. So we're going to, usually I select either tight or square. And so you can see, let's go up here. And also I'm going to take these off from columns. Here we go. I'm going to show here that now you can see the text automatically wraps around my photo wherever I put it. Because standardly, if I did not do the wrap text, it was just inline or square. You cannot make it wrap around the text. It can only be underneath the text. No matter how hard I try to move it, it's not going to allow me to move it very well. And you can see the text is not wrapping very nicely. And it makes it kind of just like jump down. Again, if I wrap the text into tight, you can see I can move it or through the text anywhere and the text will automatically wrap around the photo nicely. Here we go. Some other things with a little pop-up menu. This is also where you can cut the image. If you realize you don't want this image, it's a quick way just to delete the image. Or I can copy and paste it again, so I can have the image twice. Can also save the picture from here. So if I did not have this picture already on my computer, because sometimes you can just copy paste things from the internet real fast. This is where I could then save the picture to my computer, or I can change the computer file type or picture file type. I can also bring it to the front of other images. Maybe if I have like a bunch of trying to make a nice little collage of images, I can bring this one to the front, or I can bring it to the back. I can also add a hyperlink to the image. So maybe if I'm sending this file to someone digitally, and I say click on this picture to go to this hyperlink, I can insert the hyperlink here. I can insert a little caption underneath the photo. This is also where I can change the size again here. Or I mean, it's giving me the exact size of the photo, so I can change the image size here. But I have to be careful, make sure I don't accidentally squish or squash the photo if I don't know the exact height and width it's supposed to be. Otherwise, I can also change it here using the scale, and it would increase the size. As you can see, I increased the size by 198%, and I can tell it to block that aspect ratio and keep it relative to the original picture size. So I could change the size here. Otherwise, I also have format picture. This is where I can add more effects here as well. Other than if I don't want to do it from here, I can do it from here. Go into that in a minute. This is also where I can change picture style. I can put a nice little like frame on it, or make it oval, or a different frame. So I can add a little bit of an effect to it if I wanted to right here. And also, second most important, I feel like, is cropping. This helps you crop the picture. So say I wanted to crop something from the side or something like that. I just want the left side of this picture. I can move it like this. Left click and hold, move it like that, let go, and it's giving me a little preview of what it will look like if I intend to crop it like this. And then just click outside of the picture, and then it's cropped. And I can move it again. So that's a quick way to crop pictures. Again, if I did a mistake, you can always click undo, or if I go back to crop, it's going to show me what the original picture was like. So I can always, I can crop the other side like that very easily. Like that, or I can always bring it fully back like that. There. And I have it back again. So that's how to crop. So going back here to this tab here, this is where I can format from here, or I can format from this side here. But there are some options. I can remove the background from the picture, and what it sees right now, it gives you options to mark the areas to keep or mark the areas to remove. You can see here it's trying to keep this section right here. I can close this. I can go back. There we go. I can have corrections on the sharpen or soften or increase the brightness. Gives me more options over here. For the picture color, well, picture tones. There's another option to crop again. You can also change the color of the photo as well, or completely recolor it, or even make it set a transparent color for it. I would use this to select the color that I want for the transparency. Or more picture color options over here. Let's just say I wanted to I can make it completely orange if I wanted to. Or I can make it completely blue. Or even black and white, but sometimes it's a little bit harder to read in black and white. Could do this black and white. I can add artistic effects and go to options here. Or I can do it from here as well. You can see the little preview. I can make it look like blocks. I can make it all fuzzy, blurry. Lots of different color effects. I can, if I realize I don't like what I've done, I can reset the picture, do it back to its normal self, and start over again. Changing the picture again, it will select a new picture for you. If I wanted to compress the file size, this is what I could do it for here. And again, here are the frames. I can set it in. That gives me options. I can otherwise add picture border. And choose size of the border, whether it's dots or dashes or something like that, or I can have no outline. Some more picture effects here for the side of it. So here I can even make it look 3D. Like that. Or like that. So it makes it look 3D, but I can also even put soft edges on it, shadow on it, a reflection on it, glow around the picture. And you can make it look indented like that. So things like that. Here in the position is, again, this is the text wrapping. I can choose whether to be inline or on the bottom, so things like that. This is also where I can wrap the text here. Usually tight is best, but you can even have it behind the text. As you can see, if it's behind the text goes over it. Or I can have it in front of the text, in which case it goes over the text. But usually best is tight. And then I can also align it on the page. And then even rotate the photo if I wish. There, I can make it look backwards, but then it's hard to read the text. If you have text on it, it's hard to read the text. If there's no text, then you might not even notice it's been flipped. And again, here is where you can also crop it or change the size. So that is formatting pictures. You can do the same with online pictures. It's just going to search online for a photo here. So you can see here Bing image search, or if you have a photo on a OneDrive account you have, you can search for it there. Otherwise, if I search a Bing, let's say I search for a library, it's going to select images from Creative Commons. That means those are free to use images. You can see here I have a lot of images to choose from. You can even search again here or filter the search. You can search for a certain size of photo. You can search just for clip art or photographs. Whether you want more square photo or wide photo. You can say black and white only. So we see here lots of options. You can choose multiple at a time or one at a time. Let's search. Let's try just this one. So you can see it has a check mark on it. And we can just say, we can either cancel the search or we can say insert one. You can see here, it loaded up this photo, but you can see it's a little big. So let's first tell it to wrap the text tight. And then I'm going to go in the corner and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, so it fits a little bit better. And then again, the same types of tools that can be used to format this picture as well. Only difference is that it's a picture from online instead of a picture from my computer. We also have, next to online pictures, we have shapes. That allows you to create a shape. You have lots of shapes to choose from. Basic shapes, block arrows, equation sign. things like that. Just choose one of this real fast. I have it selected, and then to create the image, you see I have a big cross now. I click and hold with the left, and I just drag until I get the size I want for the arrow. And then you can see this new tab has come up for formatting. This allows me to insert shape fill, shape outline, shape effects. I can even edit the shape afterwards. It allows text effects as well. So I've just realized we're actually going over time a little bit. So before I wrap up, is there anything that I touched on that either needs some clarification or anything I haven't gotten to yet that people were waiting for me to teach on and they would like me to go over real fast? Because I did have left on my agenda. We did have headers, footers, design and review. I will be putting up a copy of the recording on our YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube and search up Palos Heights Library, and you will see either usually it's under adult programs, we have all our previous tech classes. So I will be getting up this recording, hopefully within the next day or two on our YouTube page, and then I'll be up there indefinitely, hopefully. So you can always go back and rewatch this class on our YouTube page. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. So I will go over it just really fast while anyone puts up anything else that they might want me to go over real fast. One of the last tabs here, you'll see the review tab, and that is where you can always find, you're welcome, you can always find spelling and grammar. So when you're done with like your paper or your poster, whatever you're making, spelling and grammar is where it will do we'll do a, see here, I have no mistakes. It will do a quick spelling and grammar check for you, and usually it pops up any words it thinks it might be misspelled, or if it thinks there might be any grammar mistakes. That is where you can find it. Next to it is your thesaurus. So if you're trying to think of a new word, you don't want to use like a certain word a billion times. This is where you can search up. You can either type it in or you can highlight it. Let's highlight this guy right here. And that's good. There we go. I have it highlighted. Just click on source and it says, this is other ways to do greetings. Well, this gives you a few different options. So you can always just, if you like one better, you can just click on it and you can ask it. Let's go back. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you go over, you hover over it, and it gives you an option to insert right into your thing, as you can see. You replace that word from you right away. You also have a word count here, so you can see how many words you have in your document. You can also always see it at the bottom here, where it says 56 words. So if you're doing a paper and your teacher says like you must have a certain word count, this is where you can find it. There's also options to translate into other languages or set a new language for proofreading. And this is also where you can make notes for start inking, or you can add comments to a paper in case you're reviewing somebody else's paper or something like that, and you can add a little comment for it. So if that is all for today, if there's nothing else anyone needs me to go over real fast, I would like to thank you all for coming. Hopefully you all learned a little bit of something new. And then, yes, this will hopefully go up on our YouTube within the next day or two, so you can watch it to your heart's content. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. And, oh yeah, don't forget to, if you saw any of the other programs I mentioned earlier, like tomorrow is the Julie Goddard, or no, Leslie Goddard, Julie Child program tomorrow. If you're all interested in that, that will be, you can sign up for that at the Public Services Desk. Okay, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.